What's up guys, Spectacular Squadspire 118 here, and today I have another costume review from Zentai Zone. Now before I get into the video, let me just say please use code SCARLET118 at Zentai Zone for 15% off your orders. Not only does that help me, but it also helps you save the 15% off. Using that code is able to help me make reviews like this and stuff and help push content on the channel, so I'd appreciate it very much. And thank you to everyone who's already used it. Ton of support coming from you guys, and I very much appreciate that. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it.
I am the spectacular Scarlet Spider.
So, what costume am I here to talk about today? I am here to talk about, it has many names. The all-new, all-different suit, Spider Armor Mark IV, Parker Industries suit, the Spider Armor, yeah, I already said that. Anyways, so to get into this suit, we first have to look at the bag. So yeah, Zentai Zone always sends their costumes in the bag. This is one of the suits that I actually bought. I paid for this. It's listed on their site. So you can buy this on their site too. You don't have to go through the whole custom costume measuring. Well, you can do measurements, but you don't have to go through the whole custom pattern link thing. You can just buy this off their site. I'll link it down below in the description. So let's take a look at this pattern because, well, if you're not familiar with this costume, this is when Spider-Man, Peter Parker had his own company, Parker Industries. And so instead of using the good old classic, red and blues, he made an armor suit for himself, which makes sense. When you're rich, like Iron Man, you can afford those sort of things. So he made a durable costume that he was wearing into battle and stuff. And I'm also wearing this 2017 Scarlet Spider costume because this was out around that same time. Ben Reilly came back when Peter was wearing this costume in the comics. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this pattern is by Gunhead Design. So Gunhead Design makes plenty of Spider-Man costume patterns and even like other superheroes and stuff. So if you want to go check them out, I definitely recommend it. But if you want this specific costume, again, it's listed on Zentai Zone's site. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to unravel all the fabric here, but here it is. The Spider Armor Mark IV, all new, all different suit. I call it all new, all different suit for, just that's the way I say it. But yeah, so this is it. It's called Spider Armor Mark IV in the PS4 game. It's got the glowing effect on the spider and all the shininess on the front of it. I'll do an up close, personal, detailed look at it in a few minutes here, but just an overall look at the costume. It looks fantastic. In my personal opinion, this pattern's a lot better than the Brandon Gilbert one that came out, a couple of years back. I just think this one has a smoother design. Goes down the arms and all that. Now, the features that I got on this costume are wrist zippers. For one, if you don't know what wrist zippers are, I'm trying to get a hold of the zipper here. You basically zip it down and it opens up. And I did get this printed on white fabric, not color fabric, I know. I just think that, the details will show up better if you do it on white, because Zentai Zone is still working out all the kinks with their color fabrics. But so I got wrist zippers. I also got a vertical back zipper, and obviously, if you don't know, it zips all the way down the middle. And then I actually got kung fu shoes. Now, kung fu shoes are something that I used to not really get that much on my Spider-Man costumes. In fact, I have soles on the costume that I'm wearing right now. But basically, what these are they are slippers that are built into the costume, like actual shoes, and like the fabric is glued in a way so that like the bottom pops out, but the inside are like they're inside the costume. So you're literally putting a shoe on when you're putting this on. So you have to like hold it open, put your foot in, do the same thing on the other side. Then you can put the costume on. Um, some people say the process of it is a little hard to do. I haven't really found it that way. It's a little annoying, but it's not that bad, and it feels a lot better than soles. I used to be purely like a soles dude. I was like, well, why pay the extra like $9 for kung fu shoes when I can just get soles? Like they're not that bad. I mean, soles aren't that bad personally, but I do highly recommend you guys get kung fu shoes. They are worth it, absolutely 100%. Um, but yeah, I mean, great pattern overall. I think that this pattern is the best Spire Armor Mark IV pattern there is. No question about it at all. Let me zip this back up so it doesn't go all over the place. But yeah, so the front, the back, and the arms, the legs. I'll show you all that in detail in a second. Now, if you have been watching my previous videos about the suit, all my costume updates about it, you will have known that I've mentioned that for the mask I wanted to do light up eyes, because in the comics this costume has a light up spider and a light up eyes. I wasn't brave enough to go for the spider. I didn't know how to figure that one out. But I actually did do the light up eyes for the mask. It's a little difficult to hold up, but here is the mask itself. Let me just get that all evened out here. So here's the mask, and let me just flick the light on here. There they are. I don't know because my camera likes to pick up them as blue, but these are in fact green, and I'll show you that better when we're in the dark. But I'm gonna flip them off just to save battery life, because let me get into some detail about this. I didn't make like a tutorial video on how to make light up Spider-Man eyes for just like regular masks. There's like face shell videos, but all that seems a little bit more complicated than what I did. But basically, to run you through it, on the inside of the mask here, and I'll show this up close in a minute. I have these LED panel things now. I'll try to link them down below. I think the link changes all the time because it's on eBay. But I have these LED panel things that I have, and there's a battery pack here. And so what I did was that I instead of like the way I usually do it for my Spider-Man lenses, where I just have the white perforated vinyl and the lenses here glued together, then glued onto the suit. I actually glued the frames that I made because I made these lenses all entirely myself, except for the panels, obviously. I made the frames, glued them onto the suit itself, then cut the fabric out, and then behind on the other side of the mask, I installed the panels. Now one of them's a little off center. It's hard to tell, but so it's not all the way on there, but no one's gonna notice it. So yeah, these do work. They light up, and you can see through them. I use the same technique on my Shredder mask back when I did the Shredder armor. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the hood off. Sorry. But yeah, these actually work and they're incredible. I'm so glad I figured it out, and yeah, so I'll show you all of that when I go in person and in depth in a second here. But yeah, Spider Armor Mark 4, so far so good. I one of my favorite designs from the recent comics. It first appeared in like 2015 or 16, and I've always wanted to cosplay it, but I haven't been satisfied with all the patterns until now. So I definitely recommend you guys to go check out Gunhead Design. Um, I'll link this suit down below from Zentai Zone site if you want this suit, but I do recommend checking out their other patterns. So without further ado, let's go take an in-depth look at this costume. So here we are for more in-depth, up-close and personal view of the costume. Just want to say quickly sorry about if there's an echo. I moved to the bathroom just because it has better overhead lighting, and when I put the lenses on and the mask and the whole costume, to demonstrate in the dark, it'll be easier to be right next to the light switch. So sorry about the echo. But here we are. Yeah, great detail on this by Gunhead Design. Obviously, great, like shining, like it's actually armor, which is great, especially because this is actually just regular spandex. It's like it's not actually shiny, but it gives that sort of glow effect here. Like this is lit up, and this is like shiny. So I think Gunhead Design did a great job with this pattern. Like I said, best all know all different pattern out there. Take a look at the arms here. I like how this suit has the gloves that kind of go up like they will actually hold. This goes into an angle, and then if you look at the boots, let's bring this up a little bit. The boots don't cut off normally like a normal Spider-Man boot would. Where is it? Yeah, right here. So they go in at an angle and then it goes up the leg a little bit, kind of like how it goes on the arms normally, but then it stops at a point here. So I think that's really cool. Kung Fu shoes again, great stuff. Pretty standard, but I think you guys should definitely do it. They're way better than Souls. Um, but yeah, overall great design here. Not much to talk about. Like it's the classic Spider-Man look, except it's a little bit more angular. Some people don't like the sharp webbing, but I think it looks good with this suit, especially because um, Alex Ross designed it, so I think that gives it its own credentials. And I also just noticed this. I like how the glow on the spider actually acts like a glow, like the web lines here, because they're supposed to be metallic, right? Like they're instead of being black, they're like the same color as the glow, but then down here it gets darker, like it's actually black. So I think that adds a whole new effect. I just noticed. Obviously, like the beveling on the spider looks great. And I think the emblems on this costume really make it for me. Like, look at the back emblem here. Sorry about that. That is great, and this comes down to a point. So like the detailing on this is just great. Like royalty. Like I'm not usually a fan of intense shading and detailing, but like when it comes to armor suits like this, it just makes sense, and I think that this looks perfect. So yeah, great stuff on the bodysuit itself. And I think I forgot to mention this, but this thing cost me uh, roughly $120. I'm just going off the top of my head. That's not like the actual amount it cost me, but with like shipping and all that. And that's with all the additional add-ons too. And that's with the discount code Scarlet118. Save me 15%. It'll save you 15%. So like what I'm saying here is that like it would have been like 135 or whatever it was, whatever the math is on that. And then you use the code and it saves you the 15%. So it's totally worth it. I think you guys should do it. It would mean a lot to me, but that's not the point. Let's look at the mask here. Now, standard Spider-Man mask, I'm not going to try to like flip it around because the inner paneling is a little fragile, but you will notice that it's a little bit more translucent than regular Spider-Man lenses, right? Like if this was regular Spider-Man lenses, you wouldn't be able to see the fabric on the inside. So when I put this on, you're going to be able to see my eyes, and that's okay. That's fine for now because like, you know, the main purpose of this again is you turn it on, you flip it on, and boom. They look a little blue on my camera right now. And in the comics, the lenses are either blue or green. So this is kind of a cool effect for me because in person, I'm looking at them, they're clearly green, but right here they're blue on my camera. And so that's a little cool. So like I get both of them for the price of one, but you'll see that they're green when I turn off the lights, and you can see it clearly. But yeah, let's take an inner looking, or let's look at the inner workings of the mask a little bit here up close. So here's the panels right here. These are the flexible kind, like the ones on Shredder that I had are straight. You can't bend them. So one of my pairs broke because they were fragile, and these are still fragile, especially with the wiring. But these are a little bit they're bendable, so they're going to be more durable. And when you install LED eyes like this, you're going to want to put the rough, like painted side that you can feel the texture to against your eyes because these are a little bit thicker. So you're getting more visibility out of them. I watched a video on them. There's plenty of videos like Iron Man lenses describing how that works, but here's the battery pack. This takes AAA batteries, so I think they make different kinds that take different types of batteries, but that's how it works. I usually just wrap this over the top of my head, so you know it only sticks out in the back of my neck. It's not too bad, but yeah, great suit overall. Now let's go put this on. All right, guys, here it is. Now, like I said, you can probably see my eyes a little bit through the mask. That's because, again, these are not regular Spider-Man lenses. And actually, I pride myself in these because I make all my Spider-Man lenses outside of like face shells and a few instances I bought from some companies. But I also made these, and I'm very proud of how they came out. So obviously, they're not intended to be used like regular Spider-Man lenses. Like I'm not supposed to be used like the way that I built them is that I'm not supposed to be walking around like looking like this, right? I'm supposed to be walking around looking like this. Here I am. But the fact is that if I'm walking around a convention of lights blaring, like I can see right now, like I can see because it's well lit in this room, and I can see everything. I can see my hand, I can see the camera here, and everything. So, um, but if I need to take a break and like not strain my eyes, I can just turn it off and walk around like this because yes, it's not really recommended that you walk around with lights right next to your eyes. Even when I was wearing the Shredder armor, I had to turn the lights off every now and then. But for the purpose of this review, I'm going to turn it back on. So yeah, on camera they look a little bit blue, but they are green. And to test that theory, why don't we turn off the lights? So actually, to make it cooler, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off. And here they are. Hopefully this is showing up green, but I did some test pictures and they did. So yeah, glow in the dark Spider-Man lenses. I did it. I achieved it. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool, right? Like I'm even geeking out myself. I'm gonna turn the light back on. I'm geeking out myself because this is something I've kind of always wanted to do, at least try it with Spider-Man lenses, because I have done light up eyes of Shredder, right? But you know, you see Spider-Man like the Infinity War Iron Spider armor, and then this suit, and it's just like, and the big time suit even, and it's like so many cool light up eyes. How do I do that? And I did it. I did it without having to make a complicated face shell because, like I said earlier in the video, Some people do these light up eyes with face shells and they have the LED system built into it. It's all this complicated. You have to glue your mask down to the face shell. I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want like a regular Spider-Man mask I can put on. And so yeah, I have no face shell with this whatsoever. You can tell by the way my mouth is moving a little bit, and yeah, it feels very comfortable. It looks great, and overall, I'm super satisfied with how this came out. Obviously, the eyes are the biggest pull to this costume because they light up. Now, like I said, there's a little rough edge here. I had this lens pop out on accident, so I glued it back, and I kind of glued it back in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna fix that later. But for the purposes of this video, it looks fine. But enough about the eyes, because like I said, they're the best attraction, right? But yeah, look at the costume. Great stuff here. I'll take you guys and look in the mirror in a second so we can see it really good up and close and detailed. But yeah, I think the textures on this came out amazing. Like I said, the stretching is great. Let's take a look at the back here. Hopefully you guys can see that well. I'm not sure actually. But yeah, it's always hard to tell when you can't see what you're doing. So I'm going to stand up for a second here, get the detail there. Take the camera here a little bit and then look downwards. You can see my boots. Actually, I'm gonna turn off my eyes so I can actually see if that's capturing it well. But yeah, the boots. Great stuff here, like I said. So yeah, here I am in the mirror. Let's turn this back on. So yeah, it's just that easy. I reach on the back of my head, flip it on, or flip it off, flip it on. But yeah, look at the detail on this. Again, the boots, like I said, they go up right here, all the way up the side. I think that's a great detail. But yeah, I think this suit is absolutely amazing. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, share the video, follow me on Instagram at Spectacular Scar Inspire. I almost tripped up with my words there. It's always weird when you have the enunciation of all the S's. But yeah, use code SCAR118 at Zentai Zone for 15% off. It really helps. I would appreciate it. Link to this costume is down below. Link to all this stuff like my Instagram and Twitter is down below. I'd appreciate it if you guys follow me there. I have lots of cosplay content that I don't show on YouTube and vice versa. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, again, one of my favorite lenses I've ever made. And hopefully I will be bringing this to a con someday. So with that being said, Spectacular Scar Inspire 118 out.